Dracaenas are probably the largest plant family for indoor trees. They're very hardy and very versatile, which makes them a great option for, offices and definitely our homes. Let's get into the care instructions for these fantastic trees. So this is actually going to cover pretty much all of the Dracaena trees except for the ones that can withstand more lower light. So this is sort of a general care one. This I'm using a marginata as the example, but like I said, this will apply to pretty much all marginata or Dracaena trees, with the exception of low light trees like the Janet Craigs and the Lisas. But anyway, let's start out. First of all, they need to have very bright light. They can withstand more medium light, but they won't grow nearly as fast, and they won't be as rigid as you see the leaves here. If it's in too low of light, these will sort of droop a little bit. The tree will be perfectly fine and healthy, but it's not going to be growing like you want to, and it's not going to keep the same sort of a form. So bright light is always suggested. As far as watering goes, there's a few things to keep in mind. First of all, you need to let the soil dry out about 25% during the spring and the summer months. This is when it's actively growing. During the winter months, you can let it dry out significantly more, about 50% in between thorough soakings. And make sure, no matter what time of the year it is, you're still soaking it the same way. Every time we water, we want to saturate the entire root system. Speaking of water, all Dracaena trees are sensitive to things that are added into our tap water, okay? So if you know that you have bad water, or if you're getting a lot of really brown, burnt tips, that is most likely due to additives that are within the water. Whatever your city puts in there, it depends, So try to make sure and water with pure water. That can be distilled water, reverse osmosis water, or rainwater. That works really well also. In any case, the more pure the water, the better for the Dracaena trees. Next, we'll talk about fertilizing. I fertilize during the spring and summer months, just when it's actively growing. I don't fertilize during the winter at all. And I just use a well-balanced liquid-soluble fertilizer, maybe something like a 15-15-15 or a 10-10-10 as directed on the package. You can also use a slow-release granule fertilizer. That's an easy way to do it, especially if you have a lot of plants or you want something that's very low maintenance. Just sprinkling some of the slow-release fertilizer is a great way to make sure that they're getting properly fed throughout the year. Humidity is not much of an issue with these guys, as long as you are taking care of all the other issues as far as watering and proper light and everything. The humidity should not be an issue. You don't need to add any extra humidity unless you have like a wood burning fireplace or a dehumidifier or something like that. But that's going to do it for the care instructions for the Dracaena trees, the Dracaena marginata. The only difference would be with Dracaena Lisa, Dracaena Green Jewel, and Dracaena Janet Craig and Compacta. Everything is going to be the same for that care as well, except for they can withstand more lower light. Same thing, they would do bright light much better, but they can do low light, whereas the marginata and all the other Dracaena do not do low light quite as well. But that's going to do it. If you have any questions for me, leave them in the comment section below, or you can always message me on Tanner the Planner.